Hey guys, welcome back to another video. I hope you enjoyed the last one. I thought it was pretty interesting. Now, sorry for not uploading in the last 4 days. My sleep schedule's been pretty messed up for various reasons, but that's none of your concern and none of you probably care. So let's get on with the story time today. Now, sit back, relax, and just listen. So you might be thinking I'm pulling your leg with this one, 'cause when I say it happened when I was 5 or 6 years old. Now I remember it vividly, and I did fact check this with my mom because she was there. So yeah, you're not being served a big plate of lies. This is a true story. It's pretty interesting, and it's definitely one that I remember clearly. So when I was about 5 or 6, I went to the community pool, and I had these swimming lessons, right? And as a kid, you don't really understand certain situations when you're in danger, so I was just playing around, having a nice time as kids do. Now, I thought, I could basically go off on my own and, pretend to be Spider-Man and climb the side of the wall of the pool, you know what I mean? Cuz I don't know if that's a relatable situation anyone's ever been, but you ever see the kind of handlebars on the side. Basically thought I could be like Spider Man or who's the other guy? Whatever. I basically thought I could just swing from them and it would be no problem. My upper body strength. I thought I was a superhero in water because gravity was basically non-existent. Right. So I decided to start swinging. Okay. Now keep in mind my swimming like kind of teacher, he was leading the class and I had gone out. He had a bunch of other kids to deal with at the same time. So I had gone out of his view, right? And he basically tried to he was a good teacher, I think, and he tried to keep eyes on everyone at the same time, but I kind of snuck past him and he didn't really see me, and for that split second I was going into the deep end. I was heading into the 5 6 feet area, depth, going like all the way to the end, and this is like a big pool. I remember the shape of it because I went there last year. It's like a four lane pool. The room's pretty big, and the deep end is like a good 8 feet. So I was heading there, and I was heading to like I don't want to sound scary, but I was heading to an early grave, and because I didn't know how to swim. That's why I was having the lessons in the first place. Now, luckily, my mom was sitting on the bleachers at the top because they had these seats for all the parents at the top, just to wait for the lesson to finish, and they had these seats like kind of on the roof, but they were connected. There was like a platform. It's hard to describe, but like a platform on the roof, so it's like an auditorium basically. But you don't get in the way of the swimming. Anyway, she noticed I was going away from the teacher and I had lost the strength in my arms. At this point, I'd lost the strength in my arms to stop swinging, and I started falling and I started sinking like a stone, okay? Because I didn't know how to swim. My weight ratio, my like weight to surface area ratio was screwed up because I was like 50 pounds. Anyway, the point is, I was sinking like a rock, okay? And this guy had no idea, so my mom like shouted like, "Dude, yo, someone help!" Yeah. Anyway, the lifeguard who's sitting near the deep end because that's where he's meant to be, he actually noticed, not my swimming coach, and he went in, grabbed my hand, and like fished me out like I was some long lost treasure or something that had been like that had been forgotten about. I was just like sitting there. I was like basically accepting my fate at that point. And he got me out. And I think everything after that was a blur. I'm pretty sure my mom got kind of angry at the swimming coach. I mean, it wasn't really his fault, but it wasn't, it was kind of my fault, yeah. But I was a 5 year old. I didn't really know better. I was just trying to have a fun time at the pool. And that's pretty much the end of the story. My mom was probably more relieved at the fact I was like okay than like trying to be angry at anyone at that point. So like she, it was a interesting situation and scenario to say the least. I don't remember a lot of it, but this is what she can recall. Anyway, moral of the story, if there is one, I'd say don't fly too close to the sun. I was kind of like Icarus, if you know what I mean. I thought I was like invincible, and again, I was only 6 years old, so then maybe this doesn't apply all the time. But in your adult life and in later life, it might apply. Don't fly too close to the sun because you might get burned and you might fall, and that's what happened. But anyway, that story was pretty crazy. It's like I almost drowned. Um, and yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. It was a bit of a weird one today. I've been trying to keep my upload schedule pretty consistent. So I'm just coming out with these stories and see you guys later. Have a nice one.